Yeah, I can't do anything about that though. See, Perky, you say stuff like that, and you say, I don't say anything out of pocket at all. And it's like, yes, you do.
You'll have to try hard at that.
Perky, the next out of pocket thing you say, I'm gonna time you out for like 10 seconds.
Like, you don't say normal things, Perky.
Keep fighting. Helping you out.
What do you mean out of Perky? Oh my, okay.
Perky, there's no way that you said that and you
No,
thought,
no,
yes,
Perky,
this was
that's-
a normal thing to say.
That is not like, yeah, Perky, like, come on now. Like, come on now.
But there's no way that you can convince yourself that that was a normal thing to say.
You want to scent mark people? That's not normal.
I see you.
You can't act shocked when you say out of pocket things.
Payload.
I'm sure so people know that. Okay, Perky, yeah.
The payload has reached the checkpoint. I still have some fight in me.
That isn't even the worst thing. It's not about. Why do y'all are obsessed over relativity so much? Holy shit! I don't understand. I don't get. I genuinely don't know if you guys are joking, as in like you guys don't possess like the social skills to like read the connotations of the things that you're saying, or if you guys are just being like, let's play as dumb as possible just for the joke. I genuinely don't know. Because I get that typically most of my chat is fairly socially inept, but like, bro, no way y'all are like, y'all don't get the connotations of the things y'all are saying. There's no shot, bro. It's not about how crazy it is or how crazy it isn't. That's not what it's about. It's like if I call someone, if I call like a person like a slur, we're not over here comparing the degrees of racistness. We're just saying that's racist. Like, we're not saying, oh, that's not that racist. We're just saying, hey, that's racist. We're not over here arguing the different like levels of racism. We're just saying that's racist. Fair, like 4 people could say some insane shit, and I could be like, I need my GF. Like I just broke the Geneva Convention because of the nature of the things that you say, Perky. They're not, because sometimes people will say something wild and then it's funny, but you say something wild and it's not funny. That's my whole. If you're gonna say out of pocket shit, you need to be funny, and if you're not funny, then don't say out of pocket shit. I'm dead. Damn. I mean, I'm just saying, like it's the thing. It's why like certain people. It's like the whole like joke. It's like the joke that guys make where like, yeah, if an attractive guy said that, it'd be fine, and it's like, yeah, like not to say you have an attractive guy say what you just said, he'd be fine. Yeah, dude, like dude, you're ugly. Don't be saying shit like that to people. You're scary. Plus, it's hard for me. I'm not really focused that much because I'm like trying to gather if you guys are like genuinely confused or you guys just kind of playing with me. If I'm trying to be fun, I'm not gonna say I need my G. I'm just thought dumping that I need a G. Why? What do you mean thought dumping? So you're just saying whatever the fuck pops into your head? Making conversation and whatnot. There are more effective ways to make conversation than saying some of that stuff though. Just fueling the fire most of the time. I'm gonna be real. Like my whole point is just like I just genuinely don't like. I don't know, dude. This is like what I mean. This is what I mean. Like I'm very neurotypical, so like interacting with neurodivergent people sometimes can be very difficult for me because I'm just like, what? I'm just so like confused. I'm just so confused. I can't discern what is joking and what isn't. I can't discern like what is a bit and what is like they genuinely do not understand or whatever. I genuinely can't discern it. I'm just like, huh? Or like I'll be like, I don't get how other people cannot like for example, I would communicate like, hey, it's not like I'm not upset at all. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at all. I'm not angry. My whole point is like, hey, you guys keep insisting like that's not that wild of a thing to say. And I'm like, when did I communicate that the relativity of the wildness or out of pocketness of the statement was what was relevant here? Also, I don't know if you don't understand the social cues. I am autistic. I mean, if that's the case, if it's like, yeah, I'm autistic, I don't understand social cues, then I'm communicating to you like, hey, probably don't do that, and then you can continue to do it. You don't get to say, oh, I don't understand social cues for that long. Like if someone says, hey, when you say or do that thing, I'd rather you not. You can't just endlessly say, but I don't understand social cues. At a certain point, you have to be like, yeah, they've expressed not to say that again, so I need to stop saying it. Because that's why I blocked Zenith, is because regardless of anything, any feedback I gave Zenith on like, hey, you're making me really uncomfortable with what you're saying, they were just like, don't care, I'm autistic, don't care, I'm autistic, don't care, I'm autistic. And it was just like tiring, because it's like I could say, hey, what you said just hurt me or bothered me deeply, and they would just say, don't care, I'm autistic, don't care, I'm autistic, don't care, I'm autistic. At one point, they just kept spamming the shrug emoji at me every time I would say that what they said was bothering me. Yeah, but it's not like you blanket statement anything, you just say like, don't say that thing again. Even because when I try to provide context and like parameters for what I'm talking about, you guys don't. That's what I'm talking like right now. I'm saying like, hey, the relativity of nature of things, the relativity of the statement is not what I'm critiquing, it's the nature of it. Because the thing is that because the reason why like I can't put clear I mean, yeah, I get that, but like you say some pretty out there shit, so it's hard to gauge what you think is cool and what isn't. Yeah, but my humor and your humor are completely different, Perky. Like I don't. You say a lot of stuff that's like, I'll say stuff like, I'm gonna do this wild crazy thing to you. You say stuff like, what's the statement? I just want to rub my ass on a tree so people know it's mine. Like, that is not, those two things aren't the same types of statements, and I don't think it's like super difficult to discern the differentiation in the nature of those two statements. It's like the difference between saying something like you're stupid versus you're a fucking moronic idiot piece of shit. Like those are two, like those are, yes, those are two things that are mean things to say, but one is definitely very different in the nature of its meanness. But honestly, because like I'm honestly at a point where like, given that a lot of my community is neurodivergent, I'm kind of leaning into the direction of like, honestly just being boring as shit. Because like, if me being my like, hold on, I'm trying to fill out what it is. Oh, I don't have it. That's where I was at. I'm gonna be real because you said the relativity didn't matter, and then your example was that. Well, no, those things weren't being compared relatively wise. It's more so about the nature of those two statements. Like one has a very clearly different intention than the other. So, like when I say relatively, I mean like how out of pocket is it, and then stuff like that. Like your whole thing, because you guys' like argument was like, that's not that out of pocket, that's not that out of pocket, that's not that out of pocket. It's not the fact of how out of pocket it is or is not. It's about the nature of the statement, right? Like two out of pocket statements. One can be, I'm gonna touch you. The other one could be, I just want some balls to grow from my chin so I can jiggle them. Both of those are two out of pocket statements, but the nature of that second statement is a lot more just like, it's not even funny. It's just like, huh? Like why would you say that? It's almost on par with like that voice line where Junkrat says, you look like the type of dude who eats his own toenails. It's like, why the fuck would you say that? Like, that was such a weird fucking thing to say. That is such like a weird and pointless thing to say. It's like, because if you're gonna say something weird, then it needs to be funny, and if it's not funny, then like, what is the expected response to it? That's more so like the best way I can articulate it. Like, it's like if someone says something weird, it needs to be funny and or entertaining. If it's not funny and or entertaining, then I'm like, you're just being weird. Plus, there's also the frustration of it, like, having to explain this to other adults is kind of frustrating at times. Because I'm like, I work, because like in my work life, boundaries are fairly easy to set. I'm telling you that 78% of where you're coming from. But like, setting boundaries in my work life is fairly easy. Like, if I tell a person, hey, what you did bothers me, it is like so easy that they just stop doing it, right? They typically just stop doing it because like, I work with like adults and stuff. Like, I don't work with like teenagers or anything. And they just stop doing it. They stop doing it, and nothing similar becomes an issue again because they're able to discern, like, extrapolate from what they did, not just the specific instance of what they did, but also the context of what they did, and discern if they did not like this, they likely won't like this other thing either. I don't have to like create an entire list of like, all right, man, this, that, and this all make me uncomfortable. It's more so if I can point out one thing, like for example, how like, so yeah, there's also just a level of like, I don't feel like I should, like my brain's saying like, you shouldn't have to explain this to other adults. Okay, we finish more time. We finish more time, bet. But like I said, I'm not upset or angry. It's just more so like I'm made uncomfortable by some of the statements you make, Berkey. Because they're not like, it's like, because if someone says something weird but it's funny, then I laugh. That's like, I'm like, okay, that's funny. That's how can Carrie do that and her team goes unpunished for the most part. My team isn't aware of the fact that she's up there and doesn't capitalize on the fact, hey, they don't have their Kiri, and if we pressure her team, the Kiri is gonna TP in and Suzu her team, and then therefore we can focus the Kiri. Most people in ranked aren't thinking like that. They're just thinking, people in front of me, I shoot at people. There's no, they don't read the context of the situation at all, which is, I mean, it's fine, it's whatever.
I will not.
They slowly lost that fight. Realistically, we should have won that fight a little bit faster, but they slowly lost it, so it's fine. But yeah. Like I said, I don't mind people being out of pocket. People say out of pocket shit in here all the time. It's about the nature of it. Like if someone's like, "Ooh, boy, you kind of cute," like the platonic flirting to an extent. The "I'ma touch you," the like very playful, like kind of pseudo threats and stuff like that. Like within reason, are fine. It's like I guess how do I put it? If someone like when someone says something like within reason, like someone says something to you like this is okay within reason, and if that person is having trouble discerning what within reason means, it can be kind of frustrating at times to interact with that person, because it's like I'm having to be so painfully specific for something that I intrinsically understand. Okay, see, that helps me understand way better, like specifically naming the kind of shit you find funny. I'm standing in the right ballpark now. But the thing is like the reason, oh, what the, that still hit me, I was around the thing. But the thing is, Perky, is I'm not someone to police other people's behavior or actions, so therefore I don't usually just I don't say like my toes are dipping in the correct kiddie pool. I don't communicate to people like, hey, that bothers me, with the intent of the person changing their behavior. I just simply stop interacting with the person. Like if someone oversteps a boundary in like a social setting, platonic setting, I just stop interacting with them typically. There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, I just stop interacting. Hence, like, once again, why I block Zenith. Like, in my workplace, I try to work it out because I have to interact with those people. I can't really just say, I'm not going to interact with you, it's work. I physically have to interact with those people. Like, I'm not saying these things like, hey, change your behavior. At all. I'm not trying to, like, bully anyone off their behavior or whatever. Do whatever you feel like doing, but like it's just like I'm not gonna engage with it, or I might like block you or something. Do that. Fair, I guess, but like if you explain that you don't like something, are there full passions out? I think no, there's like a dev notes and everything. Like the devs talked about stuff to an extent. You don't like something, it's not really hard to just not do it. You just hadn't explained that clearly before. My whole thing is I like friendships. I prefer friendships and relationships that are just like they don't require a bunch of policing. Like if I have to, like most of my friendships that I have,
one more mission, huh? I'm in.
Like when most of the friendships I have not had many rough patches at all, where I've had to like them or myself have had to like tell the other person that something bothers them at all. It's just been just smooth sailing the entire time, and I prefer friendships like that.
But I have so much to do.
That are just like we none of us step on each other's feet to any regards, whatsoever. Nobody oversteps a boundary at any point. Everyone just kind of vibes and chills. Everyone just kind of rocks. Those are like my deeper friendships. Of course, there's context, cause like it depends on what the thing is, but like especially if it's something I'm like, yeah, I probably should not have had to explain that, then definitely I'm just like, yeah, I'm just not gonna interact with that person anymore. Like I've dropped people because I had to tell them like, yeah, you know, just not making plans with me and then like not showing up, not saying anything, and not rearranging, like rescheduling anything. Yeah, that's not cool. We're not friends anymore. We're not hanging out anymore. Ooh.
What the fuck kind of person would do that?
Someone with anxiety, I guess. That was their excuse, is that they have really bad anxiety.
Don't make plans. The fuck?
But yeah, I've ended a lot of friendships on the premise of like there's and not necessarily just end it, but also like had them take a few steps back. There's plenty of times with like instances where people have like performed like a shitty behavior, and their defense for it is either citing neurodivergency or some type of trauma. That's a very common tactic for people, is like, I did something shitty to you because I had bad thing happen to me in real life, or had bad thing happen to me in past. I mean, yeah, but that sentiment is sort of inherently ableist, not gonna lie. Like, thinking you just shouldn't need to explain something ever just assumes that everyone you interact with has a certain level of understanding, if you get what I mean. I didn't care how to elaborate what I'm saying. I don't fault the person. I don't think of the person as a bad person. I just cease interactions with the person. I don't do anything bad to the person. I don't think what less of the person. I don't think ill of the person. I just stop interacting with them, or I take, or if I might go from like a very close relationship to a relatively more distant relationship, where like maybe we are hanging out every week to now we hang out like maybe every few months or whatever. I just take the relationship a few steps back. I don't fault the person. I don't express any malice or hostility towards the person. I just simply take the relationship a few steps back and just kind of dial it down a bit. Or there are, like I said, they're having relationships that I've just basically just opted out of, depending on the nature of the activity, of what happened, what the person did. Like there was a friend that whose friendship, our friendship ended because he just needed so much constant reassurance all the time. Like we would hang out with him, and if they say like the test got really busy or whatever, and he knew we had tests, and we told him like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to hang out for a week or two because we're busy. He would then, and then we finally started hanging out again. He'd be like, you guys just really hate hanging out with me, huh? And he would mean it. It wasn't like a joke. He would just genuinely constantly guilt us, saying like, yeah, you guys don't come over nearly as much as you used to. You guys don't hang out with me. You guys don't want to spend time with me. And da 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 da. It was just a constant like us being like, no, yes we do, want to spend time with you, yes we do want to hang out with you, yes we do want to invite you, yes we would invite him to get-togethers and everything, and he would opt out of going because he was like, nah, there's no way you guys would want me there. I would just be a Debbie Downer. I would just be I would just bring everybody down, and then he wouldn't go, and then he would see like the pictures or the videos of the event and be like, glad you guys had fun without me, and it was just like a constant cycle of that, and I was like, yeah, bro, I can't keep hanging out with you, man. I can't keep dealing with this. Like it was just a rough. That was a very rough friendship. A very very rough friendship. Me and some other people just stopped hanging out with him at that after that because it was just like it was constant. And we'd invite it, but it was always like it wasn't like a pity. We never gave him like a last minute pity invite. No, he was like one of the like we would text him and be like, yo, we're planning this and we want you to be there, and he would just constantly just be like, no, I suck. You guys wouldn't want me there, and it's just like, bro, I'm so tired. I'm just so tired.